Skinny Hardaway Southern T, back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor, y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. If this your first time, do your boy solid. Don't make your last time. Hit that subscription button as well. We talk this good boxing, MMA, sports, parlays, predictions every single day, not just today. Today I'm here with a bit of breaking news, right? Now, why this is breaking news, this has been on the horizon for some months now, maybe over 6 months now, right? It's been rumors and rumblings about the PFL possibly merging with Bellator and whatnot. Is Bellator going out of business type deal? Well, no more speculation, right? The announcement has officially came down the pipe, and yes, PFL officially has purchased Bellator. But from my understanding, right, and we about to read into a little bit more. From my understanding, they won't be doing away with Bellator, right? They're going to keep Bellator running. From my understanding, as its own thing. They're just going to, help move Bellator forward, right? So they're not taking Bellator to shut it down, right? But from what uh, from the understanding I got, they're going to have like a whole Bellator series on itself, on its own, right? But they also are lining up a champion versus champion, Bellator versus PFL, tournament. And I think that's going to be, a fun watch, extremely interesting. I think with the emergence of the PFL and Bellator, now why is money's sake, right? They're not going to be able to compete with the UFC. But I do think, as far as the quality of the fights, the quality of the talent, right, spread it around, I think PFL and Bellator, if you combine the talents of the two, right, then that's a operation that could talent wise, put on just as good as fights, right, or at least close the gap tremendously, right, between the UFC and whoever will be second place, right. PFL will be second place, Bellator will be somewhere ranked in there, right? Alone, they don't really stand a chance, right? The PFL, they have the backing, they have the production, right? But a lot of and they have a lot of good fighters, but they don't have a deep pool of fighters, right? You add the Bellator pool of fighters to their PFL pool of fighters, now you got a whole different ballgame. Some people may feel like Bellator, don't have a whole lot of good fighters, right? But they do have some hidden gems in there. You take that stable, you add it with that PFL stable. I think each division tremendously increases, especially divisions like middleweight, lightweight, welterweight divisions like that. Those divisions increase tremendously. I think the fans are actually going to win more, with this uh joint production. Now, while again, I'm about to read the article, right? But from my understanding, they're not going to do away with Bellator. They're going to keep Bellator, as its own series as well. They're going to run it in conjunction, and at a point in time, they are going to have a champion versus champion, Bellator versus PFL, right? But let me read this. Let me read these notes and messages and stuff, right? Because I'm excited, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm ready to see some of these interjunction fights. I ain't gonna lie, I'm an avid watcher of Bellator and the PFL, so a person like me is pretty hyped, right? But let's get into it, right? PFL has acquired an immense number of top fighters through the Bellator acquisition, and its combined fight roster now equals in stature to the UFC, right? Meaning how big it is. PFL and UFC both showcase rosters that are 30% comprised of fighters who are top 25 independently world ranked in their classes. In addition, PFL plus Bellator now has the best roster of women's fighters in the world. All newly acquired Bellator fighters will become a part of the PFL platform and available to compete in the PFL fight franchises. PFL will continue the Bellator brand, right? What I was talking about, right? From my understanding, it's not looking like they're going to do away with them completely, but they're going to work with them and help them, continue the Bellator name, right? And Bellator will be the one-off event product from PFL. PFL will launch a re-imaged Bellator product in 2024, the Bellator International Championship Series. The Bellator International Championship Series will consist of 8 fight events each year, hosted in major cities across the globe. In each Bellator event will feature 2 compelling co-main events competing for the championship belts. Bellator Bellator becomes one of 5 live fight franchises of the PFL Fighters League, PFL League season, PFL pay-per-view, Super Fights, PFL Challenger Series, PFL International Leagues, and now Bellator. Overall, the company can now meet fan and media demand by producing and programming a year-round calendar of live fight content with 30 premier MMA events a year. So what that means is the fact that they're merging together now means that the PFL is going to be running year-round. They're not going to be taking them breaks. They got enough fighters to run fights year-round. So basically, we're going to have 2, right? MMA. We're going to have 2 major MMA, companies running in America, right? Now that they've been able to join, Bellator also was one of the the MMA companies who wouldn't have fights, weekly. They would take those breaks in between. PFL would take those breaks in between. They merged together, right? Now, boom, we got fights all year round for both of them, right? So that's another one of the pluses coming from it, right? Not only do we get better fights, we get more fights year round from PFL. PFL, as a fighters first and fan-focused organization, plans to stage a landmark mega event in 2024. PFL champions versus Bellator champions. The PFL champions versus Bellator champions mega event will feature the champions of each promotion in 7 weight classes in a head-to-head epic fight experience. Detail of Bellator events, distribution, partnerships, and management will be announced later today, right? And I'm about to read from this other article too, right? And I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Whether y'all go catch this playback, right, or y'all in this John Live, y'all do your boy solid. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy, man. Let YouTube know where you heard it first. Let YouTube know, that you're in the place to be, right? But I digress. I'm about to read from this other article as well, so I can get as much of this info as possible, because I want to know, a little more about it, my goddamn self. Because now we got 2. What's good, Cornbreakers? Now we got 2, legit American MMA institutions right now. Gotta love it. After months of speculation, the PFL and Bellator MMA will become one. The PFL has acquired Bellator, according to an announcement by its founder and co-founder, Don Davis, Monday morning. While financial details of the transaction remain unknown, Davis revealed plans to do a champions versus champion mega event in 2024. Additionally, Davis told ESPN that a re-imaged Bellator brand named Bellator International Championship Series will run concurrent to PFL in 2024 with 8 one-off events in 2024. According to a press release issued, those events will feature 2 compelling main events competing for championship belts. Quote unquote, the PFL is now a global powerhouse in MIA, Davis said. Our Bellator acquisition turbo boosts PFL's mission to innovate the sport and become one of the industry's co-leader. The combined PFL and Bellator fighters roster are second to none in MMA, said Peter Murray, PFL CEO. We can't wait to bring MMA fans what they have been asking for, the best versus the best, with the PFL champions versus the Bellator champions. Okay, Trap, in boxing terms, this is the PBC going over to the zone, right? Just like the PBC going over there to the zone, right? This kind of what that'll be like, Trap. This kind of what that is, right? This kind of like if they join together, like kind of like, oh, I got a better one for you, right? This is kind of like HBO boxing back in the day, MMA terms. The PFL and Bellator coming together I think they'll be able to give the UFC a run for their money as far as quality fights like. But that's pretty much what it's like, right? If PBC and the Zone got together, or PBC and Top Rank became one kind of sort of, right? This most definitely gonna help the PFL compete with the UFC, right? But I digress, right? They're gonna be putting on the PFL champions versus the Bellator champions event early 24, right? The announcement comes 2 days after Bellator 301, which was advertised as the promotion's last event on Showtime after the network revealed it will halt Combat Sport Events production at the end of 2023. So Showtime is getting rid of all combat sports. That means the PBC and Bellator had to find new homes. Bellator has now joined forces with the PFL. The PBC is still waiting to be seen whether they're going to Amazon Prime, whether they're going to the Zone, whether they're going to Netflix, right? But Showtime getting rid of all sports. So this where this news is coming from. But it's officially official. Scott Coker took over the helm of Bellator in November 2014, following the firing of longtime headman Bijan Robney. Coker had previously founded Strike Force and departed the promotion following its acquisition by the UFC in 2011. Shout out my girl, Take MMA. She said, "Them I want to come cool with you, but I'm at the doctor's office. I'm sick, but if you still alive, come on now, Take. I ain't gonna be here too long. I just wanted to drop that news. I'm actually about to slide up off this thing in just a second. I just wanted to come in here and drop this news that y'all could use real quick. I'm gonna keep this thing fresh. I ain't gonna have it too long, but it's real spill, not a drill. The PFL has officially bought Bellator. We could be on the lookout for a champions versus champions Bellator PFL in 2024. Also, it's going to be a big schedule change. It's going to be a big schedule change. We're going to get PFL year round now with the joining of both companies, right? So from my understanding right now, the fans are going to win with this. And I think these fights, right, are going to get a lot better, right? Because some people could say, man, Bellator fighters suck. Some people say, man, PFL fighters suck, right? But if you put them together, you put the best from the PFL, the best from Bellator, then I think, you're working with something. And that's exactly, what they did. But I ain't going to keep y'all too long, man. Skin the Hardaway 17. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But just the present. Just have you rocking. And I'm out. Love. Exactly, man. Now we finally can get that thing. You feel me? Fight Life 88. Fight Life 88. Can you do your boy a favor? Fight Life. Can you do your boy a favor? Fight Life. Can you hit that thumbs up for your boy and subscribe to the channel? I'm going to leave this video about 15 minutes so everybody can get the info. But I appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing, man. PFL, Bellator, it's officially official. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all sliding through.